Hi, the Global Supply Chain Marketing Summit, brought to you by Supply Chain Brain, is coming this year, June 5 through 7, at the Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island. I'm Ralph Henderson, the producer of this year's summit. I'm here today with Lisa Beck, the director of all things marketing and lead gen for ortech. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you.
And you are part of the cohort
Yes.
of the Global Supply Chain Marketing Summit, which
Yes.
is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You were part of the inaugural initiative. You're now in the program. Tell people why that matters to you and why you would want to encourage others to think about this.
Yeah, so I think in today's age, when there's so many options to choose from, when we're communicating with our vast markets, you need someone to help you kind of narrow down and hone in on what's working. And what was great about the summit is the people that we in marketing and logistics are trying to reach every day were the exact people who were on stage. And so just listening to them for a couple of days, taking notes, asking questions, really gave me an action plan to take back. I shared it internally, and I also shared it externally with our global team over in the Netherlands.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really, as the producer, enjoyed how you all came together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was real family. I mean, there was
Yes.
some real candid conversations going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what's fascinating is we kind of boiled it down to these 5 different areas, 4 pillars, and PR and editing. So
Yes.
branding, lead generation, content development, and online. And now all of a sudden, here you are, responsible for marketing / branding,
Yeah.
lead gen, and you're also doing some online stuff. So tell me, going forward, what's the vision as you continue with this cohort on that helping you specifically with what you're doing?
Yeah, so part of our mission, both in the past and going forward, is to really do a great job branding ortech. There are so many players in this space. You can't walk around with or read anything online without seeing supply chain optimization. So we're really trying to drill it down to what makes us different and how can we communicate those differences to our audience. So being at something like the summit, again, where we walked away with actionable ideas, has made a huge difference.
Excellent. Well, and I can tell you what I like about that is what we're finding is folks like yourself really want to dig in.
Yes.
So now we're going to bring in experts. We're going to have them do classes. We're even going to do workshops. I mean, we're really going to get down to it now. But you brought up something that was really important, and that is the differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this at last year's summit.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, and so do the executives. So what are some of the things that maybe you're thinking about or looking at as it relates to that specifically?
So one of my, I've been doing this for about 30 years.
Oh my.
So one thing I've always preached to my teams, and I've always tried to follow, is you lead with your differentiators and you don't really need to be features heavy. You have to talk about your benefits and truly what makes you the vendor of choice for thousands of people out there who need services like what we do. So it's really going into this year and beyond and thinking about those differentiators and how we can communicate those to both brand us and then lead to lead generation in the future. We have to start with branding. So it's a combination of the branding and multiple platforms as well.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. One of the things I also know in conversations with you is the whole content development, creating trust,
Mm-hmm.
and allowing that to be something that helps you to differentiate yourself. So how do you encourage others to be maybe a little more encouraging themselves to do content development?
So content development is very tricky, and especially when you have a technical product and the people who program the product, who sell the product, who demo it every day, we're all spread very thin. So I really encourage people to learn our product as though you were the salesperson. So you can have that speak the way that they would speak when they're talking to their prospects out there. So it's really about understanding the product and not just what someone's told you it does. Understand how it does it, why we programmed it to do things the way that it does. So we lead with that, and then really talking about, in our case, what makes ortech different is we focused a lot of our efforts on partnership with our customers. So we're not just trying to sell a product, we're trying to sell our partnership for the future and beyond. We've had some customers for 20 or 30 years, and that's where we've built that foundation. So we're just taking that foundation and really trying to apply that to the broader scope of prospects out there. So when you start talking about partnership, and it's not just a signature on a dotted line, it's really how can we help make them successful, especially now when we're looking at things like sustainability. It's huge, and ortech is so committed to sustainability. So we're fitting in very well with customers who have that initiative as well.
Yeah, no, and I heard that many times at the summit where the executives were talking about one of the things that ortech and you were talking about is the heavy lifting and how you're trying to do the heavy lifting so they don't have to, and how are you different so they understand how they can apply what you do to what it is they're trying to accomplish. So we really appreciate that. We look forward to you getting even more impactful with that.
Yeah.
And we look forward to working with you more on the branding, obviously the lead generation, the content development, and now another role, online responsibility.
Yes.
So we will see you in June at the summit, and thank you so much for being part of the cohort.
All right, thank you.
Yes, my pleasure.
Thanks.